Okay, see what we got here. What we got here. What we got here. Let's go. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Should be playing Gears, but I'll save that for tomorrow after I get, long day of work. Just want to just chill. And I thought about doing a video and thought about I was like, no, I might as well just go live, bro. Just go live and talk about uh the plans, what we got going on. I've been getting a lot of questions. I think this is a nice day. Get some questions answered in regards to oops, there we go. In regards to the recent updates I've been doing. Um, but make sure I'm not muted, and I am not. Sir Dre, man, that's why I should have just honestly just told you to come into the freaking chat, bro. Oh my god, come into the thing. I might jump into Discord. We get rid of the virtual background, fix up my cam. There we go. All right, how are we doing, everybody, man? Can you guys hear me? We good? Sir Dre, Patty Mayes, Mel and Matt. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Here just to talk a couple things, right? Just quite a few things. I thought about doing a video, but when I was recording a video, like I want to say last night, the video started to extend to like 20 minutes. I was like, bro, I might as well just, go live and just kind of do this stuff in real time. But shout out to Mel and Matt. I appreciate you becoming a member. I did not anticipate that. I don't know if you did that because you thought I was gonna lock my streams behind the paywall. I'm not doing that. But I know that was like a joke or something like that. But guys, man, I want to talk about a couple things. One of the things is this is not new. I found like a love for PC gaming, but not only just PC gaming, but the love for building them, right? And putting things together, upgrading and learning. It almost become like a pastime for me, like a hobby. And I want to do more with that. I really do want to do more with it. And so today, not today, but in a week, if we can do it, I have to do it soon before these prices go bonkers. But I want to try to be helpful. Like, right, I'm a console gamer at heart. I was a console gamer. I moved to PC, and I went from PC to like high-end gold chaining gaming to PC. But I'm not done. So in about a couple weeks, I'm thinking about I am going to be building another PC, but I want to do something special in this. I want to go live with this one, and I want to build it live on stream, and I want to give myself a challenge. Is like, how quick can I build a PC from scratch? And the purpose I'm doing it's not because I need another PC or that my like anybody in my all like my kids. We updated did PCs for them. My PC's in its final form. I'm good, but I do want to in the day of the RAM apocalypse, right? I do want to build a PC that is deemed affordable. Can I build a PC that can challenge essentially a PlayStation 6? Can I can I and how much is it going to cost me? Can I still build a upper echelon PC for under $2,000? And that is my goal. I want to build a capable full-on capable PC for under $2,000. And I'm going to do I know I can do it, and I'm actually not going to, but I'm trying, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to build a we're gonna see how it works, right? I'm gonna build a high-end last generation PC. It's technically last generation, technically. But what I'm targeting is a full-on AM4 build. And the reason why I'm doing AM4 because DDR5 is the price for DDR5 is crazy. DDR4 is even though it's higher than what it was, it's reasonable. And I want to see, all right, let me max out that space. Now, I'm doing myself a disservice by building a AM4 build because of the path of upgradable. If I ever want to upgrade it, if I'm trying to max out AM4, I have to upgrade hard. Like, meaning I have to upgrade the motherboard and then upgrade the freaking CPU and whatnot to move forward. But it's just at this point, I'm not building this for a particular reason. It's just I want something to do on YouTube. I want to give myself a challenge. I want to show the people that I can do it and that I'm not like a joke. I didn't buy no pre-build or anything, that I did this. And I'm very proud of the work that I did with the 5090 and this build in the 9953D. It's like, I can do this. I'm gonna do it again. And I'm gonna do it from scratch. Like no windows, no nothing. I'm gonna get all that shit and I'm gonna do it from scratch. But I want to do it. It's like, all right, do I make a video and do it? Or do I just go live and see if I could do this shit within 20 minutes? And if I can do that, I think that would be very beneficial. I got a vacation coming up soon. So I do want to make sure I'm doing this in a stretch where I don't have to stresses of work to worry about like sleeping or not sleeping, but like, because sometimes when the last couple PC builds I did, I was up in the wee hours of the morning because I start at a dumbass time, like at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Next thing I know, I'm working till like 3 in the morning and shit. But I'm not trying to do that this time. I'm gonna get like do it early in the morning, maybe a 9, 10 o'clock stream, and just build it together live. And we're gonna run it and see what we can do. We're gonna benchmark it, all that shit, all within the same day. If the shit blows up, hey. But that's what we're gonna do, bro. That's what we're gonna do. But just to get it started, shout out to Pat Mayes with the $5 super chat. He says, "Can you talk about how Xbox failed you as a consumer so bad that it made you transition into that gamer that you hated, aka PC terrorist?" That's a good question, right? A very good question. I was extremely disappointed at where Xbox was going. Like, obviously, you guys know, diehard Xbox fan. I'm going down with the ship. You couldn't make me switch to PlayStation, even if you tried, even if you paid me. But I think after the business update, because I had a decent, I had a 4070 at the time. And I was like, and I realized I could play some of these games on PC that at a comfortable and I'll be fine. But it wasn't my dedicated PC. I was like, if I go dedicated PC, I want a monster build. I want a monster build that a console would never beat. That's why it wasn't my dedicated thing. Then that changed, after the business update kind of had me salty, but I was like, you know what? No, Phil Spencer, whatever, some of these games that go viral. It was really when the four horsemen of the apocalypse pretty much went to PlayStation. The minute when they bought Gears to I don't know if it was Gears or Halo. One of them like really hurt me bad, like really, really sad, where I just said, fuck it. So I was like, it was that I was at a fuck it moment. You had the PS5 Pro out, and then PlayStation was still getting exclusive, like their own exclusives and third-party exclusive. Remember, there was a stretch where they weren't even sending out Xbox review codes for like multi-ply games. It was just getting very, very weird. Very weird. I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Why do that? I'll just get into PC, right? I'm not going to buy a PlayStation to play Xbox games. Just wasn't going to happen. So I don't care. Like, that was, even though I was upset that PlayStation was getting Xbox games, that PlayStation would have their exclusive, it didn't entice me to buy a PlayStation or play on PlayStation just to play Xbox games that I was going to play on Xbox anyway. No, all it did was make me, at that point, seriously want to just invest into something that I already had, a PC, and then just like, okay. And at the time that I was thinking about this, I was like, my Xbox game, my library is already on PC based because of Xbox Play. My library is already there, so I'm not losing anything. If I really wanted to, I could sell my Xbox and be okay because I have a PC, especially if I upgrade my PC. And then I started looking at the PlayStation, the PlayStation so far, best games to date. Best games to date. The whole entire PS4 catalog and the early part of PS5 catalog are on PC. So I was like, I'm better off just going to PC, to really committing to PC and just getting the select games that I want on PlayStation from PlayStation, and then all my Xbox games, and then every third party is going to, PC anyway by default. So that's where my attitude was, and I just did it. But I don't know if it was Halo or Gears of War Reloaded or whatever. One of them was the strap that broke the camel's back for me at that point. And I just said, "Fuck it." These guys are, they're from going from 4 games to like everything. Um, it was just terrible. It was very bad for Xbox. Bad for Xbox consumers, Xbox gamers. My confidence in the brand was in the gutter. Um, and I was just kind of really done. You know what I mean? I was just really done. I was like, I'm gonna game. I still love gaming. Let me see if I can just if Xbox gonna, I don't know why my Xbox is on. Let me turn this off. I think I meant to check out their BOGO sale, but I was like, if they're gonna bow out, PC's gonna be here forever. I can probably, maybe I'll slowly transition to Steam, and that was that, and that's when I made the transition. Uh I already had made up my mind. So by the time Astra Sharma came through, I was already done. But I'm still happy because I still have a like and interest for the brand. I'm always gonna be playing Xbox games, like Halo and Gears and Forza. It's just that now I'm doing it on PC. I support the hell out of Xbox Play Anywhere, just on PC. So it's like Xbox, I've never really super mind Xbox being on PC. That wasn't really the big deal because at this point, Xbox and PC are synonymous. I understand they're two different things, and PC is an open platform, but I it doesn't feel weird gaming like the way that they made this whole Xbox transition. It feels actually natural. Um, but seeing Halo and Gears and Forza and shit on PlayStation, that's not natural. It just doesn't seem right, doesn't feel right, didn't look right. And I wasn't going to test those games on a PlayStation either. So, it will any boy, am I streaming Gears before the beta? Yeah, I'm going to be streaming Gears tomorrow. I'll stream Gears tomorrow, stream Gears again on Sunday, maybe before Weapon Wheel. The games I'm playing offline, I'm still working on Beast of Reincarnation. I got an updated point of view on Beast of Reincarnation. I might do another video on that because I need a reason for content. I can give you guys an updated review, but I need a reason to do content, and I need a reason for you guys to come back here. So I'll be doing an updated video on Beast of Reincarnation to tell you guys how I feel about that game now, because I've been playing it. But I also, after the whole Gears of War beta stuff is over, I will be returning also to Black Myth Wukong because the stream was, I did it well. People were rushing me to get off to play Gears, so I do feel bad. But I was actually making some decent progress that I didn't anticipate making. And when I make progress through a game, it encouraged me to keep playing. That's what happened with Beast. I was struggling with Beast, not because it was hard, because when I was playing it on Xbox, the performance sucked ass. And then you guys, once I got it on PC, the performance got better, but I wasn't really feeling the flow of the game. We got used to it, wasn't feeling the Japanese voicing and having to read subtitles. And you guys showed me I had to go to the main menu and get the freaking English dub. So now I'm enjoying the game more than when it first came out. So like I definitely want to see it through. So I'm going to play Gears this weekend. I'm going to do uh Beast of Reincarnation, try to get through that by, I don't know if I'll get through it because I think it's like 13 chapters and I think I'm on like chapter 5 or 6 or whatever. I've been moving through the game slow. I don't know, the game's not ultra long, but after that I do want to see through Black Myth and see how much further I can get through that. But you said Holy One says I had my 5090 for a year and a half with no regrets. He said 50 min is my best time on my 5090 build. 50 minutes is my what? Star Fox says, "Oh boy, smooth collected PCs like Xbox controllers now." No. I think what I'm doing is I'm overreacting, right? I'm reacting to the market, right? So the thing is that I uh, people ask me in certain comments and certain my videos, "Hey, do you regret it yet?" and stuff like that. And the only thing I regret about getting the 5090 is the timing of when I got it. I got the 5090 a year too late, right? And not that it's like weak or anything like that. It's because that I could have gotten it at a much better price. And dude, I went back to Micro Center to take for the to take a look at the 5090 that I did. Same exact model, and that same exact model a week at this point, a week and a half later, is $4,200. 42. I'm telling you, I didn't spend $4,200 on the 5090. I spent 34. I can't say it too loudly. My wife is in the bathroom, but 35. I spent 34, right? Which still was sticker shocking a lot, but it was like whatever. And I think it wasn't like it wasn't super bad. People think, "Oh, you're rich." I'm not. I don't. No, no. I'm not rich. What happened was I knew I would be able to flip a lot of things, but people don't understand. Like, I flipped my 5070 Ti. I flipped my daughter's 5070 because she didn't need it. She like, and I think downgraded her to a 5060 Ti before those prices went up. I flipped a 5070, 5070 Ti. Flipped my 7800 X3D. Flipped my PC case. Flipped my what the hell else did I? So I was like I'd made a lot of the money back to the point now I didn't really feel it. I really didn't feel that transaction. So, and I knew they would sell quick. Like within like I think I did all this stuff on a Sunday. All that stuff was like sold by like a Tuesday. Literally by a Tuesday and with no negotiations. Like I didn't have to price down anything. And no, that's mostly because of the market of these PC parts and how everything increased in pricing. Like it was just like uh, I was like, oh, it just worked out. And the fact that that the 34 for the 5090 was the lowest I've seen it when I because I was always looking at it. But with the lowest I've seen it, I did it, didn't look back, and then I was able to make a lot of money back on the parts that I did have because they weren't like I didn't have like weak parts. So the 7800 X3D was a still very very good, very capable Ryzen 7 CPU. The 5070 Ti is probably arguably one of the best uh 50 series cards. I mean, now it's becoming a harder argument because the price keeps going up, and then you have the 9070 XT from AMD that challenge it relatively easily, and it sometimes beats it. It's just that the NVIDIA does better ray tracing than AMD, and they're in better ray tracing and better upscaling. But we'll see with FSR 4.1. That's partially why a reason why I want to try to build an AMD build. I want to see um you know what's the best I can do on that side of things. But yeah, I think yeah, I sold my daughter's GPU. Yeah, because you guys got to think about like when I showed off. I think earlier this year I showed off like my daughter's build when we worked on her build. Shout out to Sneaks and Geeks USA. And my son's build. My daughter had a build that was challenging my build, with the exception I had a better. Only thing that was better in my card was I had a 5070 Ti. She had a 5070. Her motherboard is better, still better than the motherboard I got now. And I think she has a 870EX, 870X, some shit like that. I forget. I have a B850. Um, she it's like, well, we had the same CPU. We had comparable builds, but my daughter isn't playing like the things I'm playing. She's playing FNAF and Minecraft and Roblox, the most demanding game she would even bother playing was Dead Island 2. And that game is honestly, and I that's an AMD game because the game does not, I don't think the game runs well on NVIDIA cards. It's very glitchy, it's very twitchy. Like the frame pacing is bad, and it only have like AMD upscalers. It doesn't have no sort support for DLSS or any of that stuff. Good looking game. No, definitely want to experience it on PC because I experienced it on Xbox and was really performant. Looked very good. It looks really good on PC. It just doesn't perform well on NVIDIA cards, which is weird. But yeah, so I downloaded, I downgraded her to a 5060 Ti. She doesn't know the difference, bro. She doesn't know the difference. Now she just knows that why is there a black graphics card in her white case? Because I was not paying a premium on a white graphics card. Um, with King J calls me snooze. Yeah, but the market is jacked. Yeah. The the market is definitely jacked up right now. What monitor do I have? Right now, I'm rocking two it's actually in the actually in the description. I think my entire build is in the description. Um I'm rocking except for I gotta update the power supply though. I upgraded my power supply a couple days ago, but the monitor I have is the Alienware AW 3225QF. That's the 32-inch 4K OLED curve, 240 hertz. It's my favorite monitor since since the Samsung Odyssey. I remember I had the Samsung Odyssey, I think it was the G7. I forget what it was, a curve, a Samsung curve. It was their QLED, but it didn't last. That monitor, like it died. It died. I was so pissed. I think I spent like $800 on that monitor, and the screen just lost like function, and I had to throw it away. I think the warranty was already like done for. I was kind of really tight, and and then I just ran with the LG Ultra Gear for a while. And then I paired off with like a cheap 1080p monitor, but it was like more so a monitor just to monitor streams. But my LG Ultra Gear became the default until I upgraded my PC, and that's when I got the two Ultra Gears, bro. Not the Ultra Gears, the Alienwares. No, next gen. It was a couple people that called me kids, snooze or whatever. Next gen, and then there was this dude online that was dealing with King Droopy or something like that. I think he was like a YouTube rapper. You need to. I need to use my warranty, but yeah, you need to use the warranty on your monitor. What's wrong with your monitor? And both my Alienware monitors I got on sale. One I got directly from Dell itself, and then the other one I got from Best Buy. Like me personally, I don't have the same needs, right? You guys gotta understand. I'm a console gamer at heart typically. So the stuff when gaming on console, what we did, we wanted the best, the best TVs, we want the best, pictures and whatnot. So the stuff that I'm treating, I'm not looking for like the fastest monitor. I'm not looking for a 600 hertz monitor or a 500 or a 340 hertz monitor. I just want I'm fine with 144 hertz, man. But it got to be 4K. It got to have HDR. And now by default, I got to be an OLED. I like the way curved monitors are. I have big windows, right? And sometimes I'm gaming during the day. Having the curved monitor like prevents the whole glare. It just because of the way, and the curve also isn't super deep or anything like that. It's not even all that deep. You know what I mean? One day I'll get to have now with the build I got, I should be able to get one of those big ass monitors that those 49 super long curves. But the thing is that I feel like I need multiple screens for the simple fact of like streaming. Unless I invest in like a laptop, um, to where I can like do the bullshit, and then I can just focus on gaming. I guess you could stream. I don't know how that shit works, right? I don't know how people stream with a single monitor on PC. Do they have like a laptop hub that they're pretty much taking care of that for them? I don't know. I can't do it. I only know how to utilize two screens while gaming and streaming, or gaming and some other bullshit like gaming, YouTube, or whatever. And that's probably not helpful, considering Google Chrome and has heavy memory use for some reason. You gotta try ultra. See, ultra wides. I think what happens. I'm not really deep into ultra wides because I don't like. 'Cause I feel like I'll run into a situation where I'll run into a game that doesn't support it, right? And sometimes there's delayed support for ultra wides. Um, I don't know what the benefit of ultra wides is, especially for the games that I'm typically playing, right? I get it if it's you get more screen real estate. If I don't know if there's a competitive advantage, but I don't play competitive games outside of like your typical Gears and maybe Call of Duty. But I'm not playing like Fortnite. I'm not playing Counter Strike or anything like that. So I don't know the benefits of ultra wide. But you know, I feel like for me a sweet spot for monitor size is definitely 32 inches. Love that it's like curved. I gamed on 27-inch for a while, and it wasn't an issue gaming on 20. I had never had a problem. I never felt like I needed to upgrade or anything like that. But now that I'm back at that 32-inch, I can't go back to 27 inches. I just can't. So y'all on Gears tonight? Hey, I might get back. I might get on Gears at 9 o'clock. And depends on how long we're in here for. But I did want to just no, more so just touch up on like, you know, how it's been, you know. Uh, 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 so I didn't I d- I'm still in a process of downloading downloading games, right? Downloading, testing, and like I think I re-downloaded 007 First Light. Gotta look at that and seeing that at its best is great, and being able to run that game you easily over like I think 100 FPS without like frame gen or anything like that at native resolution. Good looking game. I know there's a path tracing update that was supposed to be coming. The path tracing update was supposed to come this summer. I don't know if they mentioned anything else beyond it, but there is supposed to be a path tracing update for that game. um Obviously I think Forza looks tremendous. Halo, for some strange, the only game I've more so been disappointed. There's only two performance situation I felt very eerie about, maybe three. I don't know if I did I test Assassin's Creed Shadows yet on it. I gotta take. I don't know if I had a chance to test that yet, but I know that one's gonna look good because I was liking the way that looked on the 57 Ti. Just that I had to do a lot of tinkering to get that balance between visuals and performance that I wanted. For some reason, Halo Campaign Evolve is a weird, or I don't know if this is going to be an Unreal Engine thing, but like for a shipped game, because Gears of War I doesn't count because it's in beta. It's not as optimized during its beta form, but I trust the coalition to optimize their game to peak. Like I'm not super worried about the performance of Gears on the 5090, even though, like I said, it is kind of underwhelming right now because I feel like I should be able to do more than what I'm getting. Um, Halo, strangely enough, doesn't like I Halo literally the performance on the 5090 and the 9950 X3D at native resolution, native 4K. It's like I'm barely getting over 60 FPS. Like there's pockets I'll get over 60 FPS, maybe get a little bit higher in those corridors. But when you step outside into like the beach area, that beautiful area, that's the best looking part of Halo. Beyond that point, it's very metallic in color. Like that's the best looking part of Halo campaign is that when you get on the beach and whatnot. But for some reason, bro, I'm like, really? Am I only getting 50? Like I don't feel like I should have to turn on frame generation or DLS on that game. Like, but like that's where my beef with UE5 comes in. It's like I like UE5 and I don't like it at the same time. I call it UE5 slop because a lot of these games like look the same, but it's like there's no way that was the game I was disappointed in because in when I had just wrapped up Halo campaign before I got the 5090, and I was really irritated about the performance that I was getting, and that being that I had to, turn on frame generation, or I really had to mess around with the settings to get like this balance because I couldn't maintain the target frame rate, and I was like, "No, this is bullshit." And I think that's what triggered me. This like, hey, I need something more. And that and those Assassin's Creed tests that I was doing with the 5070 Ti. And then like I boot that thing up on this thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Is something wrong with my PC? Like, did I do something wrong? Because I was like, why am I not blasting through this game? And one of the misleading things about these GPUs is like the memory size, right? So the thing I don't like about these YouTubers telling you about like what graphics card to get, they tell you to avoid 8 GB cards and I see why you would want to do that, but it really at the end of the day it really comes down to what you're playing. But when you have a 5090 that's 32 GB, right? I'm like, something's bottlenecked here because the games aren't using 30 nowhere near every game, maxing out any game you're at most is at like 13 gigs of video RAM that you're gonna use if you want that. Like I'm talking about, and that's when the game has like path tracing and shit like that. Like, I'm like, so if that's the case, where the rest of this memory going? Like, I know this is very ignorant for me to say, but if you have a 32 gig card and you're maxing out a game VRAM with 13 gigs, right? Which obviously it would cripple like a 12 gig card. It'll struggle on a 16 gig card, right? But double that 32 gig card. Why? Like, where's my thing? Where's the problem? Where's the flaw? I shouldn't be running out of video RAM and you're using regular RAM. That's what I'm not understanding about PC gaming and buying the highest end like card is like where when does this 32 gigs come into play where that all that headroom I got, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? That I don't understand. Like, I guess I need to be schooled in that, but I never understood why. Like, when I was playing Halo, I'm like, how the fuck am I doing 56 FPS at native 4K with the like, what? Like, that, like, how is this happening? It didn't make sense to me. So, like, and that's where it gets extremely like weird. So yeah, some people could say like, yeah, 5090 is a waste of money when you can, because at best the most you're gonna get is pretty much a 5080's performance at best, because the way that these games are like designed to run, you're gonna get pretty much the 5080 or 5070 Ti's performance level. And I'm not saying that like, oh, you're matching the gameplay. I just feel like there's like a certain threshold, like you got all this extra memory that you have that I guess games just can't tap into. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. Hopefully I do and I'll figure around. But the thing is, I understand the idea of like if anybody's paying $2,000, $3,000, in this case now $5,000 on a card, you shouldn't have to do any tinkering. Like every game should just default to maximum possible settings and that's it. You know what I mean? So and I will say honestly, for the most part, I don't have to tinker. And if I have to tinker to play a game on the 5090, I'm not playing the game. All right, let me see. Yeah, I'm not playing the game. Halo was lucky that I had already beaten it on like on my last build. But my thing is that like when I played Forza Horizon 6, it's just I just went straight to Extreme RT and then I turned up because when you go to Extreme RT, it doesn't like by default put everything to the highest, but you still got to go and make sure everything is hitting the highest. And sometimes it doesn't make a difference with some of these things, but it's just that I just want to know is that peace of mind that hey, it can do it, right? Um, but so far, like I haven't enabled like any form of like frame generation on outside of testing. I'm like I've been able to just play at at native um at native resolutions and at native frame rates, and at most if I want to kick it up a notch, I can turn on DLSS and I'm usually able to hit quality, and then that pretty much doubles the frame rate itself. That and then I've used frame generation. I tried frame generation with native resolution and it's fine, but for the most part, and again, this is the ignorance of me. I don't have anything against frame generation. I know I don't have anything against it, but the way I look at it is like in order for me to really truly enjoy it or want to enable it, I got to make sure that whatever I'm playing, like my rule is that I have to be able to achieve 60 FPS or better without it before I think about turning it on, because then I feel like I'm not I feel less satisfied. Yeah, sure, it looks great, it feels smooth, but I feel less satisfied. I feel like frame generation should be just a bonus, like a bonus to like if you're already playing a highly performant game, it's like all right, you're doing 120, your thing can give you 120, 140, but you have a 240 hertz monitor. Turn off frame gen is to get you to your refresh rate, right? And that's when you're like, that's fine, right? That's what I want to be able to do. I don't want to use frame gen because my game is struggling to hit 60 FPS. Like I don't want to use frame gen for to turn 40 FPS to 80 FPS. Like that I don't want because there's a difference until they can find a way to super reduce latency to something crazy, which they'll probably get there and reduce the noise that you get when you're using frame generation. Now the noise isn't on every game because it's usually the higher you go with the frame gen count, that the more visible the noise. But if they find ways to reduce those things like the artifacting, the noise around it, then I would be more, I will always enable it. But like I only feel comfortable using frame generation when I'm already running the game at 70, 80 FPS or 90 FPS, and now I'm just kicking it up a notch. It's not like I need it. If I feel I'm fine playing the game perfectly be at 80 FPS or 90 FPS and not have an issue with it. But that's when I would want to turn on frame generation just to get that 140 or turn 120 to 220 FPS, whatever. I think that's when it's probably best used. But somebody, I'm not trying to play a game. You turn on path trace and it's now a 30 FPS experience. You turn on frame gen and that just to barely get 60 FPS because frame generation itself costs frames too. It's like you lose probably 10 native 5 to 10 native frames to get that extra those extra set of frames. So it's I'm kind of indifferent on it. I'm just happy that I don't have to use it. I'm glad I can use it as a luxury and not need to use it just to get the game running to my liking. That's the thing. Like I don't want to have to use it to get the game to perform the way I think the game should be performing. If you know what I mean. Portable ham sandwich says it's not all about VRAM. When it comes to games, there's a lot going on in the background that relies on physical memory. But again, this all goes back to the game optimization. I think you're getting caught up in the minor things. I am like, hey, dude, I'm not going to pretend I'm not an expert at this. I'm learning things every day. When I did this upgrade to my build, I started getting spammed, and the algorithms just kept showing me videos of the 59 burning out wires and shit like that. And I'm like, come on, bro. I was like, what are the odds? What are the chances? Is it this by brand or is this all 50 series cars or is it just the Astros and whatnot? And then so I was like, they were, the algorithm trying to sell you on different things like the Wire View Pro 2 and stuff like that. Thought about that, and I was about to get that, but then I see MSI had a power supply that was 1200 watts. My power supply was 1000 watts that had a GPU safeguard on it, and it had a lot of features that you know these additions to your GPUs were trying to do. And I'm like, why don't I just buy that? It was the same price. Buy a new power supply, right, and get an extra 200 watts on top, like a 1200 watt power supply that has the GPU safeguard and the warning features and stuff like that to detect anything going on with the wires. Or do I buy a Wire View Pro, a wire, I can't even say it, Wire View Pro 2, and try to look at and keep looking at fucking temperatures or a LCD on my computer while trying to game? I don't think I would just naturally game. I feel like what I did with the power supply that I got was probably a safe move, a good move to do. I'm not super worried about that, but it's just, are you undervoting your 59? No, I'm not undervoting anything. The only thing I've ever done, I'm not overclocking anything. I'm not undervoting anything. Because I don't want to start messing with like shit like that. I'm nowhere near the expertise of where I can start doing shit like that. The most complex thing I've done so far is do a fan curve, bro, and just adjust the fan speeds and the flow of that, which was interesting. But no, I didn't undervote anything. I'm not really trying to do anything like that. Said, if I had a 5090, I'd undervote, no overclock added on top like I do most my cards. I recommend you do that, Smooth. Look into light undervote can improve performance. That's that's strange. That's strange. So that's the thing that like that trips me out about like PC. Like you buy a top of the line card, I really shouldn't have to tinker with anything to get it to perform at its peak level, right? You know what I mean? At this point, if they're charging you like 5 grand for a card, uh, this shit should be done at factory settings, bro. Should be well tested, should be well voted. Um, and I feel like if I try it in doing that, I have a higher chance of like screwing something up. I'm an amateur at this point. I'm a super amateur at this stuff. Like you could tell at the rate that I'm, you know, buying and upgrading. Like I can't sit on with the same build for more than freaking 6 months. Um, but I don't know if it's because I like doing the shit or or if it's for a level of satisfaction. But like I really don't want to have to do that. What guide did I use for my fan curve? Believe it or not, I had yeah, I told ChatGPT to like, yo, like guide me with the best fan curve for my build. Like this is I said my shit is running like it's not that it's running super hot or anything like that. It is loud, but I feel like my fans were always blowing at like a maximum settings, and it gave me uh a what I thought was a decent setup for the fan curve, and I've been utilizing it for I'm about to say 4 days, 4 or 5 days now, and it's everything's been fine. Everything's been fine, but like that's what I did. Like I just did like a freaking had asked you ask AI for that shit. But I can probably show you what I think it kept I think it kept going up 10 per I think I kept going up 10. I want to see if I did I take a picture of it? I might have taken a picture of how I had the fan curve, set up. Oh, I had a couple text messages, guys. Alright, there we go. Uh-huh. Reason there is headroom is to allow all cars to come out stable and with similar performance out of the box. GPU silicon is very volatile, and the simplest way to explain that. That's a true logi. Um, okay, that's no, that's yeah, it was true logi. But yeah, anybody got E Rice said, I just want to make sure I'm catching up with oh yo, well, shout out to Bless Red, right? Oh damn, I'm missing a lot of these comments. My bad. I didn't realize a lot of people was in here, but I'm gonna scroll up, uh, give a couple shout outs. Surgery, Holy Ones, True Low G, Any Boy, shout out to him. Maurice May, um, Jack Move. I saw Jack Move come through. Um, and Bless Fred. Now, Bless Fred, I saw your comment online. You said you didn't just upgrade from a AM4 to an AM5 motherboard. You went from a 5800 at maybe X3D to you got yourself a 9850 X3D. And I'm pretty sure you got yourself a AMD. So that's what's up because that's a big upgrade for you. But I know I saw a tweet from you. Um, you said, and then E Right says you had the same CPU, or did you say that on your 9950 on your I don't know if that question's for me, but I originally had I got a story of why I even went with it. So I had an I when I had the 4070, I had I had an damn it, an i7 13. It was 1300 or 1400 K 100 KF, and I was trying to play Avowed, and I kept getting this stupid ass message about going into the motherboard, not the BIOS, and get downloading like some sort of motherboard update in order to play the game, because I guess those Intel CPUs had destabilization issues where they would cause like some errors. And Avowed was the only game message I was getting at, and at this point I wanted to, like, play Avowed on like PC, and I was like, why am I going into the BIOS? So I was kind of tight at that. I think I eventually did it, but I was so disgusted about that message. I was like, I'm not doing this shit again. And I've been on now, mind you, I've had my PC. The first PC I've gotten, quote unquote game PC, was in 2016. It was a 980 Ti build, and I had a i5. I had an i5 CPU, sort of. I forget what the which, but it was an i5 CPU, Intel based, and I stood with Intel when I went from a 980 to a 3070, and to a 3070 to a 4070, and but I got a better. I think J Dub might have hooked me up with his CPU and motherboard, I believe, when I made that switch, but it was still Intel. So when after that, I was like, no, I'm going AMD. So when I did the 5070 Ti build and I got the Ryzen 7800 X3D, so that's what I had when I had the 5070 Ti on in the videos that I did earlier in the year with the big Maca green Master Chief looking helmet, tower, the Thermotake 600 case. I had a 5070 Ti in there and a 7800 X3D. I upgraded my GPU and my CPU at the same time. Went from 5070 Ti to a 5090, and then I went from a 7800 X3D to the 9950 X3D. Again, probably didn't need to upgrade the CPU, but it was just more so I was in Micro Center, and I was in there like a baby, bro. I was just I just wanted. It kept me in there a whole nother hour. I would have probably bought more RAM. But I just want to make sure I see the comment. Jack Move said you'd only need a second screen to read comment. That's what, yeah, that was Jack Move's comment. All right, fair enough. So, Surgery says, should I cop Beast of Reincarnation for $43? If you have remotely any interest in Beast of Reincarnation and you're on PC, you have options. One is on Game Pass, right? Give it a try there. It's on Game Pass. But 43, I would say $43 is a good price to buy Beast of Reincarnation. You won't regret it. If you're in, if I didn't have Game Pass, if the game wasn't on Game Pass, and I said I had remote interest in Beast of Reincarnation, I had a remote interest in it. I sampled it on Xbox before I had access to it on PC. If I saw it on sale for $43, after what I played on PC and what I played on Xbox at that point was like terrible, but I saw the promise of the game. I was like, well, if I played on PC, I'm probably gonna have a better experience. I would pay $43 for it if it's on sale. Like, for example, like I'm remotely interested in Phantom Blade Zero. I think Green Man Gaming got the shit for like $50 right now. I'd pay $50 for Phantom Blade Zero. But yeah, no, that's I would say go ahead. Like we go ahead, play. I want you to play a few couple hours of it. We're gonna do we gotta get together and do another Control Alt Game delete podcast. No, Control Alt Game podcast so we can talk about it. But Beast of Reincarnation, like I said, I have kind of an updated opinion on that. And I will definitely share that in the next video that I do. Blessed Red says, yeah, somebody was talking about price hikes for mobiles being like 300%, and I said, fuck all this waiting. Yes, so that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Motherboards was the next thing to go up. I don't know why I think right now they're just really dicking us. Pardon my language, but like what's the reason for motherboards to go? What's the reason at this point? Now I feel like you're trying to price people out and trying to force people to like consume game via cloud, and I'm not doing that. Once gaming is exclusively cloud, I don't think I'm gaming anymore at that point. Um, because there's no reason for that to be the case. It's one thing your excuse for RAM and graphics cards was because of like the DDR7 and DDR5 all that shit RAM. Um, okay, you got that. SSDs, not sure why that's um being gouged as well. So once they start doing that, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, because motherboards is naturally aren't all that expensive, bro. Sure, you can get like some super high end ones, um, but they're not all that expensive. The one thing people need to know also about like motherboards is that it's not like there's ways to upsell a motherboard. I guess if you want more like ports and more ways to have more, I guess, SSD bays and more plugins, more AIOs and all the other shit. Um, but there's no performance gain on like a motherboard. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like like motherboards are not dramatically better than each other. Now, obviously, there's a compatibility thing, which is why Blessed Fred had to do what he had to do because his upgrade path came to an end. So, because he can only upgrade so much on AM4 because he had to move to AM5. So that's why he did what he did. He had to move to AM5. But by moving to AM5, he's paying more for his RAM. I like the freaking Blessed Fred has, I think, well, you said you had 98 gigs or some crazy ass number or 164 gigs of DDR4 RAM or some shit like that. He can't do that with DDR5 unless he's coming out of the pocket crazy. To get that in DDR5 RAM, that's the equivalent to almost it's I would say yes, equivalent to buying a 5090 to get that same amount of RAM. Uh, so that he's gonna have to probably settle for 32 gigs for a while. And because 32 gigs is like I think made close like 300, and 64 gigs is like 4 or 500. So it just keep in like you know what I mean. It's insane, bro. It's insane. So a lot of, but again, and I'm looking like mentioned in the earlier in this stream. I'm going to go live, later on in this month, building an AM4 build, an AMD AM4. I want to max out an AMD AM4 build. Like I said, it could be a mistake because I'm building a build based off a last gen DDR4 RAM. But what I wanted to do, so I wanted to build a miscellaneous build, and not break the bank. And so if I did that with with an AM5 build, then it would be costing me like I just saw a 5060 Ti for $800. I knew I was like, no, who would spend that? But this is when at this point you kind of have to make wiser decisions because what I'm doing is I'm building like a full on AMD build. Like obviously AMD CPU, trying to go with the 5800 X3D, 9700 XT, whatever, 32 gigs of maybe DDR4 RAM, whatever. Try to do that, and just see like really like should people really like put themselves in a situation where they have to have the newest of newest. One thing I would do, I'll never tell nobody not to buy a 5090 or not to buy a 5080. I'm not, no. Buy what you can afford. Buy what you can like what you're gonna enjoy. And that's what I had to really tell myself is like I don't really treat myself a lot. When I do, I'll buy some stupid shit. Like I would consider like doing this piece of shit, this kind of stupid shit, right? But I don't buy sneakers, right? I'm not a sneakerhead. I don't buy a lot of things. The clothes I buy is like work clothes, and I buy the same type of shit, like very cheap. I wear Converses. Those are $60 sneakers. I don't wear Jordans or anything like that. Like so, I don't have like a crazy splurging expense where I have to buy all this expensive shit for me. Once a year though, I do go crazy into tech things. That there might be something that I want and indulge in, and I will buy something expensive that I will enjoy. But you know what I mean? As long as everything else is taken like care of and whatnot, you know, I don't feel like a guilt or remorse when doing that. But as far as like, I would never tell anybody, oh, don't buy a 5080 or don't buy a 5070 or don't buy a 5090. It just said you just should have bought it sooner. If you can afford it, get it. But the one thing I'm trying to figure out is that I've never experienced an AMD dedicated build, and I'm interested in building one. I really want to do it. I want to see if I'm capable of doing it. And then on top of that, once it's done, I want to see how it performs at with current games. And depending on how that performs, let's see how long it lasts. But I'm really looking forward to doing that. Portable Ham Sandwich says, "Buy current PC builds. I spared no expense." Shout out to him, bro. Bless Red. Bless Red said, "Yeah, 5090 not in my price bracket anymore. 5090 for a 59." He said 5090 for a 5090. LOL. Didn't think it was a good buy from a 4090 at 2K. So it's wraps. Yeah, I think I did what I did because I didn't trust. I didn't like the thing is people would say wait till the like I wasn't super satisfied with my 5070 Ti. So people said wait until the 6000 series or wait until they do a 5080 Super or 5070 Ti Super. I was like, okay, if I do that, sure, it might have more RAM, right? It might have more video RAM. Um, and it might be more money. Like, are they just going to magically sell these things at like a lower MSRP than these current cards? And then when the 6 series come out, it looked like the 6 series is not coming out if what feels like it not until sometime in 2028. And do we expect those to be cheaper? I don't. I don't expect them to be cheaper. So I was like, why wait and then watch the price go through the roof to the point where I can't afford it at all? I might as well just go ham now. All right. Like, because whatever I buy now, I can buy the best possible build now and not knowing nothing, no console, no Steam Deck, no Steam machine, knowing nothing else out there will beat it. And that's what I did. So I recommend people like, you know, if you're interested in PC gaming, the best time to do it, you know what I mean? It was yesterday, but since we can't go back, the best time to do it is now. Build what you can now. You know what I mean? Unless you can say unless you can say, you know what, you know, I'm gonna stick to console and I'm a, you know, no, I'm gonna write out $1,000 PlayStation, the $1,200. Not, and I'm not saying that to be dismissive of the price because everything's expensive, but if I'm going to spend that much on something that I'm used to spending $400 or $500 for, at that point, I'd rather just add a few hundred more dollars and just build my own shit. And I think that's how I justified it. So, you know, build now, get what you can now, whether that's a 5060 Ti build at a 16 gig card or a 5070 or a 5070 is a great card. For some reason, that 5070's pricing has not been brutal. The 5070 has been actually priced decently, even though I made a profit on my 5070, but in on the 5070 Ti, but like the pricing for a 5070 isn't like outrageous. Um, it may be now. I haven't checked, but the last time I checked, it wasn't outrageous. But or consider AMD. AMD's card, but believe it or not, the AMD equivalent, at least the 9700 XT, from what I can see, have been literally bar for bar with the 5070 Ti at a in the cost of that didn't go up. You can get you can get those somewhere between $600 or $700, and that should allow you to help you build a highly performing build for less than $2,000. So um my advice to anyone, build now. Build what you can now. If you have to use Facebook Marketplace to get some like RAM and SSDs or like use or even a GPU, go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Cases aren't really expensive. You can get beautiful cases for like $60, $70, right? Um Motherboards, you know, try like Newegg and Micro Center, they do these crazy bundles where they discount shit and it's like almost like getting one of the parts for free. One of the reasons why I'm able to do the build that I'm going to be doing now, like I had these parts in my cart for like 3 months, and the pricing kept going down is because the parts that I had in my cart were being bundled in with other parts and just essentially making shit free. And I'm like, and then today I saw it and I was like, all right, let me just hurry up and just check this out. Any event that the motherboards go up, the GPU again goes up. We're in a race against time. We got time. We don't got enough time, but whatever funds you got, if you have expendable cash that you can, spend on, go ahead and build something, like buy now. Um, that's the advice I get. I'm not gonna tell anybody to wait for any sort of thing. I'm not gonna tell you to wait for the 6,000 series. Not gonna tell you to wait for the super series or it doesn't make sense because every day you wait. For example, I said my only regret I have in buying the 5090 is buying it when I did versus buying it when when it was when I first thought it was expensive. So never, I like, you know what I mean? Why? Don't wait for shit, especially if you think that's like people like, when do people think shit doesn't go backwards, right? There hasn't been any signs of shit going backwards. You said you can get a 9070 XT for 7030 if you're lucky. Do not cheap out on motherboards. The quality of VR rims is important. I would argue a 9070 XT is the best bang for your buck for performance versus the 5070. Yes, it is. Because the 9070 XT is supposed to compete. What is that? Is direct competitor? Is it a 5070 Ti or 5080? It's weird because I'm just the 9070 XT pound for pound performs better than the 5070 Ti. The 5070 Ti is more popular and people just assume because of the price, it's a higher price. The difference between AMD and NVIDIA more so is the upscaling and like DLS is better than FSR. It is. Um and the fact that a lot of the AAA games they go with NVIDIA and have these exclusive like features like path tracing. And sometimes that's exclusive to NVIDIA cards. Like I think Pragmata, you can only do that shit through, get path tracing on a NVIDIA card. And you have to just deal with regular ray tracing, which is fine. But I would say like pound for pound, a 9070 XT beats out a 5070 Ti in a lot of games by like sometimes 50, like not 50, like 10-15% in performance. And it's crazy. And I think that's before the FSR 4.1 out, like, what I mean, before the new FSR. So I'm curious, like I want to, build this AMD build, this is the AMD AM4 build, not really because I feel like I'm missing out on anything. Like I said, it's a passion project, it's a hobby. I want to build something again from like super scratch. I want to do it while live streaming, and I want to set it up in the living room, and try to use it maybe as an alternative, like console. But we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely see how that goes, or maybe I'll just build it, power it up, benchmark it, and then fuck around and sell it. Like, you know what I mean? That's probably what I'll end up probably doing, just to like kind of uh give myself the idea like, okay, I'm comfortable building PCs. I can build a PC. I built all types of PCs. Like, I started out rough, but I was so impressed of how this rig came out, the 5090 rig, and I want to do it again. It's like a high. I wish I had discovered this in like 2023 or 2022 when shit was cheaper and you could just rack up on like motherboards and RAM and just have it. Hey, let me just put something together. You know what I mean? But now, everything is like the price of everything is just kind of stupid. So, um, yeah, I've always been a dork. Um, but I'm not musty and I'm not musty. I don't smell like Doritos. And I don't have a lisp. So, but I've always been into stuff. Now the PC thing is definitely a hard heel turn. Definitely a heel turn for me. Um, but hey, like, I blame Xbox for that. Said NVIDIA's biggest flex is their money and manpower. Absolutely. You said also, I think the 6090 will be out soon. Um, yeah, when the 6090 comes out, right? What when you say soon, I what 2027, 2028? Like, are they gonna be able to even sell higher memory? Is it gonna be what? It's gonna be 32 gigs again? Like, are like I don't I don't know if I need to be like hype or in a hurry to get one, I guess. Um, it really all depends, right? If the starting MSRP is like 3 grand, 4 grand, and then no, it won't be. It really won't be worth it to me. Like, I think the best time, like, what is it like? You shouldn't do every gen. You should do what is it? What's the safe? Is it every other gen or every 2 gens, right? So, like, my upgrade path was stupid. It was 980 Ti, 3070. I didn't like the 3070 because it was only 8 gigs, and um, and because of the what I was trying to do. But again, I was very ignorant with the like messing with the settings and trying to how games should run. Like, I wasn't paying attention to like settings and tweaking and stuff. I was just like, "Hey, I can't run this shit better than my so I can't do 4K," right? You know what I mean? I didn't game. I barely gamed on the 3070. Um Got the 4070, and then I did actually a couple games on the 4070. I was actually satisfied with it because it was all one that was 12 gigs. So I was happy with that. But I didn't prioritize it or anything like that. So I went from 980 Ti, 3070, 4070, and then 5070 Ti, which where I felt like this is the biggest upgrade I've had from a graphics card. Where I said, yeah, PC gaming is my de facto. That was the biggest upgrade, and then that didn't last too long. It really didn't last long in 57 Ti to 5090. And one reason why I went to a 5090 because it didn't make sense to go from a 5070 Ti to a 5080. It just didn't make sense. It wasn't that big of a leap, and it wasn't a natural upgrade path. And and if like that's when I was like, all right, I'll just wait unless I get a 5090, then I'll get a 5090 now. And then I think that's what happened. I saw 5090 at a price that wasn't $5,000 and a price that wasn't $4,000. You know what I mean? It was um at what I said, I think I can get this back. Um and that's what I did. So Portable Ham Sandwich says, if and when the 6,000 series is announced, the cost of entry I think is going to be significantly high, especially if the cost of RAM continues to be in the stratosphere. E-Right says, yeah, from championing Game Pass and Series S to building multiple high-end PCs in the same generation, what did Xbox do to y'all, Smooth? Yeah. Yeah. Uh, the Rider 04 says, my PC with a 9070 XT was total cost of 1,400 euros. 5090 alone for 4,000 euros is a complete ripoff. Plus 5090 is a design flaw with power connector. Yeah, I'm nervous about that, right? It's crazy how the whole power connector and how much power you can really pull through. Um, Something fundamentally needs to change with that. But that's why honestly, a 5090 would because of that issue, a 5090 should just have a by default a lifetime warranty. Should be a lifetime warranty on that shit. Um, you said as an owner of a 5090, that's bullshit. I've had zero issues with my. That's the. I don't know if that issue is widespread, but I've seen enough. You said, "Hey, Smooth." Eric Cuts for the witch that say, "Smooth Gear stream tonight. I need something to watch." No, Eric. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tonight because I'm gonna stream tomorrow and Sunday. But I wanna play with you. I don't wanna stream if you're not. I would much rather play with you. So whenever you guys are on, I wanna be a part of that. So this week last weekend I was able to play with like all the people I played with. I know I played with Hard Eight and I played with Blaze and a few other people. Um this week I want to play with you, Erica, and Audible, and whoever's down to play. That's what I'm trying to do, because I got to get that weekend off, uh just to get that a little bit of gears in before the final game comes out. So I'll try to play tomorrow night. Okay, cool. Nice, nice. Support. He says so much people are having issues with the 5090. It's a fact. People try to buy condoms for it, in which it's not. Yeah, yeah, you know what? There is a point. Like, shout out to our Frog Boy. Like, I think I'm gonna try to do a show with him tomorrow. Um, I've been watching him a lot. Um, I know he bought like, I think he bought like 5 different items for his 5090 to try to monitor the whole connection thing. My thing is he had it for a year, so if he hadn't had a problem with it up until now, I mean, he should be fine. Like, I'm not worried at all about it. I know it was a big thing maybe like last year or earlier when the cars came out, because a lot of the videos and stuff I was watching were shit from like last year. So, but you would think a year and some change later, they upgraded it, they updated it. There's already a lot of native supplies, PSU power supplies and stuff that already like supported it. There's better cables out there. But I think with that situation that they never actually truly found out what is causing it. And I think what's truly causing it is just the 5090 is just really too powerful. It's drawing more. I think it draws more power. I honestly think it draws more power than the 600-watt rated cable. That's the thing. It's like it draws more. I feel like it has the potential to draw more than 600 watts. So what they should do is one by make the minimum spec for 1200 PSU, and and be safe between the 12 to 600 PSU, and then up the cable so that it can accept 800 watts. Um, I think that's the safest part you can do, because I feel like the 5090 has potential to. I think I could play a game now and draw like 575 watts. So I think that's the thing. I think that the 5090 just draws more power than the cable can handle, and that by default is a design flaw for sure. Did I do any air dribbles today? Yes, I no, actually, I did not do an air dribble because I dribbled with an actual toy ball today. So I dribbled with the toy ball in my son's bedroom. We got a little door hoop. No, went through with legs, step back, but I had a ball in my hand, so it wasn't an air dribble. Feel like my allergies are kicking in. Do you think Gears player count is gonna last? I have no clue. Gears, uh, never known to have like a high player count. There's been like seven. Not I was about to say 7 years. It hasn't been 7 years. There's been Gears 4 never made it to Steam. So Gears 5, no, there's only really between Gears 5, Gears Reloaded, Gears Ultimate. Yeah, was Gears Ultimate on Steam? Yeah. Yeah, I don't recall Gears having like, so any gate thing that Gears right now, Gears the beta today, this week beta has had the highest peak for any Gears game on Steam. So, do I think it'll sustain it? When we consider the numbers, it's not ultra high from what we see. When let's say, I think what happens is what would be very impressive for Gears of War E Day, right? When a game launches, I would say this, if it matches anywhere between Halo Infinite debut numbers and Starfield debut numbers, I would call that a success. Doesn't have to maintain it, but I would say as long as you have 40 anywhere from 20 to 40,000 active users on your multiplayer, you're fine. You're fine. Your game's not going to die, right? But I think with the power of the campaign, with the horde siege mode, I think that's going to be very popular. And just I think the team deathmatch stuff, that I feel like that's going to die off quicker as they filter through like who's good, who's bad. But I think what's going to last is the horde siege mode. And then you got the power of the campaign, which is going to be epic. I think the game's going to I think if it's able to touch those Halo, because people forget Halo Infinite was very successful. Starfield, very successful early. If it touched those numbers, I think that they got something to be proud of, because if it does those numbers, those are going to be the highest ever for the franchise on Steam. So can't be mad at that. You got ripped off, bro. You should have kept the 5070 Ti. I got paid more for my 5070 Ti than I bought it for. Um, and I don't see I don't think I got ripped off. Like, personally, I really don't. Like, I can only view it that way if I intended to buy it at the rate that it was when it came out. But a 5090 wasn't on my radar in like February. I don't know when the 50 series came out. It was like early 2025. Those things were not on my radar um at the time that it came out. So I can only go based off when it became an interest of mine. So it only became an interest of mine earlier this year. And at the time when I was shopping around, I was only seeing 44, 45, 42, 4300, 3900. Like, so the way I got mine, it was the cheapest I've seen it for me being in the market for it. Um, so I don't think personally that I got ripped off. And if I ever felt like I got ripped off, or if I regretted having it or something, I could just sell it and make make my money back, or make more than what I've bought it for. So still not. I think I'm good. S- Portable ham sandwich says smooth. I think you future proofed when you stepped up to the 5090. RTX 50 series released January 2025. Okay, so yeah, I was a year and a half late to the 50 series. Okay, fair enough. The crazy thing is, when the 50 series came out, how quick are the games even being optimized versus brute forcing, right? Like, when did games really start really being properly optimized? I feel like games weren't properly optimized for the bad boy until Capcom started putting out games like Resident Evil and Pragmata. I think that's when we started seeing, like, and that was this year. So I got the cards as they matured. And if January, so a lot of this shit was problems last year. A lot of this melting cable shit like that. They've had to have improved on this stuff. Not, and I'm not in denial or anything like that. Not saying that it can't happen, but you would think with time and reports, changes made. But I'm going to I feel like my allergies are starting to creep in. So I'm about ready to end the stream relatively soon. We've been here for an hour and almost 20 minutes. Any questions you guys have, please throw in the chat. Whether it's uh regular questions or super chats, whatever, just I want to dedicate the next maybe 5 minutes or so to answering any questions I can. I plan on putting out some series of videos. I plan on doing a Gears live stream sometime tomorrow night. Um, I'm gonna, try to get some videos out the way. I want to get some gaming out the way. I'm trying to finish off Beast of Reincarnation. I'm gonna finish Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Those are the two games that are like, on my radar. And I kind of got to do those before Onimusha Way of the Sword comes out and Blood of the Dawn Walker comes out. It's a lot of good games coming out. Portable ham sandwich. Fate Keeper is well optimized, looks beautiful. My only beef with Fate Keeper right now, my only beef is that it doesn't support controller and they're slow for the updates, bro. It's like it's a good looking game. I'm looking forward to it. I downloaded it. Uh, I downloaded it when I had the 5070 Ti. I downloaded it. It looked even good on that, but it's like, bro, give me controller support and I will play this demo and this trial until completion because that game looks incredible. And even though it's just it's upgraded UE5 slop, and I hate making UE5 slop sound bad, but the visuals and stuff are familiar. It's just they're just done at a much higher fidelity than what we're used to. And these visuals are better than that UE5 demo we got in 2020 to show off the PlayStation 5 UE5 demo is better than that for sure. Fate Keeper, I think it's like $7. It's an early access game. The problem with it now, it's supposed to be like like a Skyrim or a Avowed or whatever. It's in that like genre of like Bethesda-esque RPG, right? But the graphics are on like steroids with the UE5 with all that stuff. It looks awesome. But the problem is I can't play with mouse and keyboard, and I'm not willing to learn. Give that shit some controller support, bro. Portable ham sandwich. He said, "Kid Smooth, I just stumbled upon your stream tonight. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you for coming through. Hopefully you stick around. Hopefully the content remains interesting enough for you to stick around. So appreciate that." Uh Chronicler, when's the next Planet Xbox? Me and Attic are probably I have to record it before Attic goes to Gamescom. So if I have, I will probably record potentially Monday. We'll probably get it done Monday. If I have room to do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. It really all depends. But Sundays is hard because you got Iron Lords, we got Weapon Wheel. It's hard to work around that. So I either have to do it Saturday or I have to do it Monday. How many games have I beaten this year? I've beaten so far. I have to go to Twitter because I pin all my games. But I've beaten actually not a whole lot. I've beaten Silent Hill F. I beat it Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered on PC, Reanimal, Arrow Knight's Drop Shot. I did Resident Evil Requiem. I did Pragmata, did Mixtape, Samson. Download Samson, bro. It's a good game. 007 First Light, Mind's Eye, Halo Campaign Evolved. So I did 11, and I'm literally like halfway through both Assassin's Creed Resync and Beast of Reincarnation. So by the time like I plan on turning 2 more games in before the end of August. But right now I got 11 between Beast of Reincarnation and Assassin's Creed Black Flags. I'll be 12, 13, and then I know I'm going to play through Onimusha when it comes out for sure. So I played Assassin's Creed Shadow. I didn't beat it. Like I had it. I had it on Xbox. I played through a quarter of it. A shout out to Ubisoft Connect and their cross saves because when I got my PC, like I installed it on on PC, and I haven't installed because I do plan on going back to it, but it's a long game. Like I'm still on what's the girl's name? I'm still on new I forget her name. What the hell's her name? Naomi or whatever. I'm still on her side. I haven't even seen the big black dude yet. Uh Outside of the prologue, but I haven't even played as him yet. As his main quest yet. Long game, so I don't know when I'm gonna fit it. I would like to, but I don't know where I'm gonna fit it. Um Smooth not Star Fox says Smooth not willing to learn mouse and keyboard like he wasn't willing to leave Xbox. LOL. Offers controller support for mouse and key games too. Um, Steam Steam does, but that game literally doesn't support like controller unless you're telling me there's a workaround to do it. But right now, natively, it does not support it right now. Fake Keeper. If it's just a click of a button, show me. Let's get in a call and show me, because that's crazy. You said if Xbox stops making controllers, then what? Uh, there's a lot of third parties. There's like Razer, Hyperkin, 8-bit does some good controllers. QRD. As long as they steal the Xbox like DNA, which seems to be the standard. I don't think that Xbox owns it. It's just the preferred standard. We're good. There's options. So we'll make sure. And we are. So we about to ready to with Apollo and Moon occasionally remote play off my 59 game PC. Adobe app. Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay. But no, it's been a good stream. I definitely appreciate you guys coming through. What's up? C Slime Productions, C Slum Productions 22916. What's up, my guy? Mike Johnson, have you officially left Xbox? I would never officially leave Xbox because Xbox is synonymous with PC. I use the Xbox app heavily. I use the Xbox app more than Steam. Not that I have anything against Steam. It's just a lot of games I'm interested in is Play Anywhere, and I like achievements. However, the games that I did support on Steam were Pragmata, were Resident Evil 9. What else did when I did Horizon Zero Dawn remake, I did that on Steam. But yeah, any game that I'm interested in that isn't available on Xbox Play Anywhere, I'll buy through Steam. Like Phantom Blade Zero is probably the next one I'm buying through Steam. But the next set of games that I'm really interested in, I'm not sure how I feel about Control Resonant. I keep watching gameplay and I'm just not satisfied with the combat that I'm seeing. Everything seems very tanky and heavy. But if I do it, I would get it on the Xbox because it's a Play Anywhere title. Blood of the Dawn Walker is a Play Anywhere title. Omnimusha Way of the Sword is a Play Anywhere title. So those are likely titles I'm just buying. I would be playing on the Xbox app. But Phantom Blade Zero and stuff like that, yeah, I would get on Steam. Damn, the only thing that will get smooth on mouse and keyboard is if PlayStation controllers are the only things left. Probably. And my experience with the 5090 so far has been mostly positive. But my lone exceptions are the Gears of War beta, because I don't feel like it's fully optimal yet, but I do trust that it will be optimized in time for final release. And Halo Campaign Evolve is shit. It's a good looking game, but like there's no, again, like I said earlier, no reason why I shouldn't be smoking that game with a 5090 and a 9950 X3D. It doesn't make any sense. But Forza Horizon 6 has been great. Looks beautiful. Got to jump back into Pragmata, even though I beat that game in 007. I'm playing Beast of Reincarnation. I'm having I'm having a lovely time with that because it's a game I don't have to use DLSS. I don't have to use frame generation. Even not that I'm against using them, it's just that it's highly performant, and it runs that very, very well, and I'm having a great time with that. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync, where I'm able to play that at its absolute like best, and it looks the game looks great. Um, I just the crazy thing is I haven't like had a lot of time off since doing this. So like I got a vacation coming up at the end of the month where I'll just be able to deep dive and just like play and test and I'm trying to play games to enjoy them, but I'm also trying to test games and do that. And that's also hard. But no, but it's so far it's been enjoyable. I again, the only regret I have about the 5090 is that the time that I bought it. I wish I bought it much sooner. But then again, I probably don't because I probably would have burnt up the cable. So in the same menu, all right, portable sim, you're gonna have to show me how to do that, man. He said, bro, why Chrono Clicker 2950, bro, why everyone having problems with campaign evolve one way or another? Yeah, it's and I beat it, and I beat that, and I beat the sergeant missions and stuff. I have fun with it, but I like it. I think ultimately what Halo Campaign Evolved was it was UE5 slop though. Like it was all right. I got through the game, but I was disappointed in the performance for sure. D Mellow 7 says I have a 7900 XTX. In the future, I want to jump to NVIDIA. Might go with a 5090 or a newer card if available. And Gears Beta felt yeah, Gears Beta was optimized. However, I did play a little bit of the Gears Beta yesterday, and I'm playing at ultra settings. Um, I did use DLAA because I wasn't sure if they optimized it a bit. Not DLAA, DLS quality, and I was at like 90 FPS. Now, I feel like I should be able to do more with a 5090, so that's why I'm not like screaming at the rooftops. But it performed that beta for me at those settings performed better than Halo did as a fully shipped game at 4K native at its max settings. But people got to understand Halo is a much smaller game in scope. Sure, it's made in UE5, but the open area is not. It's not like it's a open world game. It's just a open area. It's just very wide open. But the skeleton of that game is fucking 30 years old, bro. Like not 30, but like 20 years old or 25 years old. So uh, I would say, yeah, like Gears is the beta isn't optimized yet, but I trust the coalition because they optimize their games well, and at the time that Gears E-Day ships, it will be optimal. But when I played the beta yesterday, I was running ultra settings, DLSS quality, and I was pushing 90. I was getting consistently 90 FPS. Frame gen, I think, is still disabled. They haven't allowed that during the beta, but that will be available in the final game. Which at that point it was fine for me. Remember, I'm used to playing Gears at fucking 60 FPS on a Series X, so I had no problem with that. You said accept your friend's request on Steam. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Let's open up Steam. I don't see that I have any pending friend requests. Your friends, pending invites. Nah, I don't have any. I accepted every friend request that I had so far. So, but it's Kid Smooth. If anybody wanna, yeah, my Steam name is the same, and it's literally damn near. My Steam name is the same as my YouTube name, and my Steam picture is almost the same as my YouTube picture, except my hand is on my chin with a green background and a blue cap. That's it. He said UE5 slop, your new catchphrase. And again, and I don't mean slop in a derogatory way. Um, the thing about I mean, like, the problem is that UE5 games have a lot of, like, of this samey look. A lot of the games, a lot of the outdoors, a lot of the grass, the rocks, the tessellation, all that shit is very samey. It's like everything about UE5's, like, the technique and making games look good is identical. So when you yeah, Halo looks great, you know, but it's it's like, yeah, it's Halo and UE5. It's UE5 slot, like, because every game that mediocre game that they try to make in your Unreal Engine 5, they'll max out the visuals. The game would be, you know, average at best, but it just have that same look, the same everything looks exactly the same as any other UE game. So it's like that's what I mean by like slop. It's not that I think it's bad. UE when I something that's UE5 slop can look visually appealing, but it looks visually appealing, but it looks identical to the last UE5 game. Like they all look the same. They all have the same issues. They all have the same performance issue. They're all unnecessarily heavy. You might get one-off games that are, you know, performant and surprisingly good performer, but as far as the visual makeup of a lot of UE5 games is visually the same. UE5 took a lot of the artistry out of game development 'cause people aren't taking chances. All their games look the fucking same, like they're in the fucking Rocky Mountains or like like everything's in like the same environment. He said there's no other way to use the word slop other than derogatory. I guess. Yeah, Steam is not as good as Xbox or PSN for the achievements. And I like the thing is Steam has achievements. It's just there's no impact when you unlock them. You get a little icon that pop up on the bottom right. Like I didn't realize I think I have 3 achievements left to get all the achievements in Pragmata. But there's no and I think I've gotten 100% achievements in games and I don't get any it's not like you get anything special for it. So, yeah, it's like it doesn't have any impact and you know, shout out to Xbox. Shout out to Xbox. I'm going a lot longer than I said I would. Because Xbox achievements now on PC is exactly like the console achievements. It has the little charm, the even the UI. It used to be like Steam; it'll just pop up on the right, but now it has the whole graphic, the overlay. I love it. I love it. I freaking love it. Let's see what we got here. Oh, pending invites. Oh, Cap'n Crunch. Just added you on Steam. Yeah, it doesn't have the aura like trophy, so I think that's where something Steam can improve, and that's why I prefer to get the games on the Xbox. If it's on the Xbox app, I mean, I prefer to do that. Now, there is the cool thing about it is some games like there's probably a benefit to you know buying a game like you know Gears E Day or Forza Horizon 6 on Steam because you do unlock Xbox achievements natively at the same time. So as long as you're locked into your Xbox account and you're unlocking Steam achievements, you're simultaneously unlocking the Xbox achievements, which gives you best of both, which is actually pretty good. Um, which I probably might actually consider doing Gears on Steam about that since you know Gears is already available on like Game Pass or I'll install it, but I might actually buy the game on Steam. Now I think about it. Um, what else was there? What else was there? You should pick a PS5 Pro and PC. It's too late. It's too late for PS5 for me, bro. Like, I understand I'm I have like kind of an oxymoron mentality because I have a high-end PC and I have an Xbox and one overshadows the other, right? Because I don't really need to utilize the Xbox. The only time I'm utilizing the Xbox console for gaming is Madden 2K and obviously GTA. Um, or if a game is just if I'm having a problem with the game running on PC, then I can, and if it's optimal on Xbox, then that's a different story. But I thought about grabbing the PlayStation 5 for Wolverine. Um, I still contemplated getting a PS5 Pro for Wolverine, but I gotta ask myself, do I want to pay $900 for the thing is, and it's not the money is not the problem. It's like, but my thing is when I look at Wolverine, I'm looking at the gameplay. It's like, do I need this enough where I would want to pay $900, $1,000 though, just to experience this game? Is this game good enough for me to go out and buy a whole new console? Right? Is this going to be the best game that released in September? And I'm looking at September, and there's a lot of games I'm interested in September. So like Wolverine looks good. And I do really wish that PlayStation would have put it on PC. But I kind of understand why PlayStation aren't putting their games on PC. It's because they're charging you $1,000, $1,200, and any logical person willing to spend $1,200 on a PlayStation should just spend $1,800 on a PC and just access those games on a PC. And PlayStation at that point, is beneficial to them to just not even put the games over there, so you can spend $900, $1,000 on the PlayStation 5 Pro or whatever. But I wish they did it otherwise. I'd buy it if it was available on PC, but I'm not interested in a game or anticipated a game enough where I think I need to buy a PlayStation 5. And the next game after that is God of War Lafay, and I don't think I'm interested in that enough to warrant a PlayStation 5 either. So it's just like, in the ending, God of War Lafay comes out maybe the week that Fable comes out. I would be prioritizing Fable over God of War anyway. So, like, I'm just kind of like I'm kind of done with like really that FOMO that I used to get with PlayStation games. PlayStation don't release first party games at the rate that they used to. They get like what feels like 1 or 2 games a year, and these games, the problem is by doing that, if the game isn't a hit for me, then that's a whole nother year I'm going without playing the PlayStation. And that's what happened. The last time I had my PlayStation, I think I played um what the hell was it? Did I play was it Spider-Man 2? And then I think after that I went like a whole maybe a year. I forgot what was the last game I played after that. Maybe it was Lego Horizons or something like that. I don't know. And then like at that point, and that keeps happening. Like I'd buy a PlayStation and try to keep it for their exclusive, but they don't release games at the same cadence anymore. They're literally averaging 1 game a year unless they sneak a third party exclusive, but they're averaging like 1 game a year. And the last game I enjoyed on the PlayStation was Spider-Man. I didn't get Ghost of Yotai because I didn't enjoy Ghost of Tsushima. And I was like, you know what I mean? And at that point, all the games that I didn't enjoy on PlayStation, I had remote interest in, they're available on PC. But and I don't think Wolverine to me is enough to warrant to go out and buy it, because there's not anything I'm more interested beyond Wolverine that, and I don't think spending $900 is worth it for it. He said you should buy a PS5 for your daughter after you done sold her GPU. My daughter wouldn't play my daughter had a PlayStation before. Uh she won't play it. She won't play it because the games that she's interested in are commonly available on PC. And my daughter follows PC streamers. Like, she's into like Corey Kenshin and Aphmau and all these other people. And she now has a PC that similar to what she sees them playing on. And the games that she's been playing, our games are available on PC and they're available on Xbox. Like, she plays Five Nights at Freddy's. She got the whole entire collection. That's what she plays. She doesn't need a 5070 to play FNAF. Like, you know what I mean? She doesn't need a 5070 to play Minecraft. She doesn't need a 5070 to play Roblox. You know what I mean? But she do have a card. Like, I feel like the 5060 Ti is a healthy card, especially in the RAM apocalypse. For the games that she wants to play, she's more than good. And she has an upgrade path because she's on the AM5 build. So if we ever wanted to like decide to like upgrade her, which I doubt it, she has a decent motherboard. She has a 7800 X3D. She's a graphics card away from it, but she's not missing it because she never knew she had it. She just knew she had a PC with a bunch of colors that had her favorite FNAF characters inside, and she was playing FNAF on it. Hold on, guys. Ugh. My bad. But I understand the logic of having the a PlayStation and a PC combo. It makes sense. It does. It just doesn't make sense for me. If Wolverine was on Xbox, I didn't hold on. I didn't have anything negative to say about Wolverine. I don't have if Wolverine was on PC, I wouldn't like I would tell you I'm buying it day one because it looks good enough for me to want to play through it. Um, but Wolverine doesn't look good enough for me to want to buy a PlayStation for it. That's what I said. Not that I don't think Wolverine is interesting. I wish it comes to PC. It, if it came to Xbox, if it came to Xbox, I'd buy it. If it came to PC, I'd buy it. If I had a PlayStation, I would buy it. I don't have a PlayStation anymore, so I'm not. I have no reason. Actually, I have the game pre-ordered. I have the game pre-ordered right now at GameStop. You guys just this stream just reminded me I have the game pre-ordered. I had the game pre-ordered because I thought I would buy a PlayStation by now. I thought I would have it by the game of release. But I'm looking at it's that's another month from now. I just don't think I don't think the FOMO is there for me to be interested in buying it. So and now if I come across Facebook Marketplace a $500 PS5 Pro or whatever, or I get gifted, or I come across something where I just come across it, that's one thing. But I'm not buying a PlayStation 4 Wolverine. I don't think it looks interesting enough for me to want to buy a PlayStation. It's an interesting game enough where I would buy it in isolation if it was available on any of the platforms I have, but I don't have a PlayStation, so I'm not going to get it. If it was available on Xbox, if it was available on PC, Steam, or exclusive to Epic Games Store, I would buy it, but it's not. So that's my take. It's not that I don't think the game's going to be good. I think the game's going to be good. I think it looks great, but I don't think it looks good enough for me to want to buy a PlayStation. That's the thing. That's what y'all getting lost in. I don't think Wolverine looks good enough to make me buy a PlayStation. It looks good enough for me to buy the game, not good enough to make me to buy a whole new console to play the game. So that's where I'm going with that. So you can get a used play again. I can get a used PlayStation again. So that means the game Wolverine itself, for me to want to buy a PlayStation, whether it's $300, $500 or something like that. Like I said, if I come across a lick to get a PlayStation, maybe. But think about it, if that's the only game I want to play, that means I value this game, Wolverine, at this point. If I was to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro at retail, that means I value Wolverine at $960, right? If I buy it at $300 or $600 a PlayStation, that means that's how much I'm valuing the game. I'm not valuing the game like that. I think the game is worth it for whatever. Whether the game is $60 or $70, I think it's worth that, and I would love to play it. But the game's not on the platform. It's just the game isn't screaming, I need to buy a console. Like, for example, and it's not screaming, I need to buy a PlayStation in a way that, like, Grand Theft Auto's coming out, right? And I'm not even all that hyped for Grand Theft Auto. I have an Xbox, so I have a place to play the game. That's where I'm playing it. Um, but for example, somebody like, oh, I got to get a system to play, Grand Theft Auto. Like, that's different. You know what I mean? Wolverine isn't doing that for me. Where I like, damn, I have to buy a PlayStation. Nah, if PlayStation was still releasing games on PC, I would be buying their games on PC. I would have still supported it. I'm not against this whole disc thing, you know what I mean? But I'm not buying a PlayStation to play Wolverine just so that I can beat it in like 15 hours and then don't touch the shit for a whole year again. Like, at that point, beyond a year again. You know what I mean? So it's not worth it. My Gotti so far is a toss up between Pragmata and Resident Evil Requiem so far. I like Pragmata a lot. And Resident Evil was really, really good to me, because it was my first first Resident Evil game that I've beaten in a while. Like, and I enjoyed it. I think they did a good job. Good job with that game. Pop that like button. Did you even? Oh, he's not talking to me. He said that one dude over here. Oh shit, kid, I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. I've been uploading videos like daily. They all been flopping. So and I'm not showing up in the algorithms because I don't have like the Xbox like content no more. Not that I don't want to say Xbox content. I don't have the my content isn't been like Xbox focused. So I probably fell out of the algorithm. So if you follow a lot of Xbox guys, I fell out of the algorithm because I took a lot of frequent breaks. I didn't know what I wanted to do with the channel, and then I wanted to do things, stuff I did want to do. I would do a video. It would go under the radar. You know, I get like 100 views, whatever. I go live, and the live streams are fine, but I think I just fell out of the algorithm for a lot of people. So because I've been uploading, I've been trying to upload as consistent as possible. Am I still getting that anniversary Xbox? I was. I'm not anymore because like I had to make a decision, right? It's not like you could. I don't think you could pre-order it. The thing it hadn't. The Xbox, they raised their price in August, and the console comes out in I think maybe October or November. I forget when the console came out, but by the time the console came out, the price was already going to be higher. So that means it's going to be like $800, and I don't think I'm willing to spend $800 on an Xbox console if I have an Xbox Series X. Unless I'd be willing to trade my current Xbox Series X for that green Xbox, but I'm not willing to just buy that shit just because. I honestly, believe it or not, I'd rather just give me another $1,000 and I'll build another PC. And I like creating my own shit, bro. Found you on a Gears 5 rant in 2019. LOL, gotta come home smooth. He said trying to sell an Xbox right now must be like trying to sell a Tesla Cybertruck. Nobody wanted. Oh shit, bro. He said those QD Dib323 says those QD OLED has ambient black levels raised in the sun. You said Chrono Clicker 2950 says that protecting vid was good content. Good content. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I have more content coming. Like I said, this was going to be a video, but the video was coming out too long, so I was like, I gotta live stream, bro. But I got more videos that I'm doing. And I just do videos to see what sticks. You know, I'm still gonna be doing those. Can my shit run it? Obviously, a 5090 should be able to run anything I throw at it, but I'm still gonna be doing those videos. Still gonna be and I'm gonna revisit some of the games that I've already posted when I was doing the 5070 Ti and see how it compares to the 5090. I still gotta do that. And an overall review. But I just wanted more so to address the fact that no, I don't regret buying a 5090. I'm still enjoying it, and the fact that I found a newfound love for PC gaming, not only just gaming on PC, but building them, putting them together, and watching just gaming on something that I built with my hands, and whatever flaws that it has is uniquely mine. I think that it's an awesome feeling. And I'm looking forward to do one, and I'm going to be going live with my next PC build. I'm going live to build it. We're going to talk through it. The goal is to do it in under 20 minutes. I don't know how successful I'll be, but we're definitely going to do it. I just got to make sure I have the right setup, the cameras and stuff like that, because like you guys see me, I'm building PCs on the floor and on a kitchen table, and kind of like, so I have to have everything kind of in line. I might have to move my camera around or rent a camera. just for the purpose of that video, because my iPhone will have to be on like supercharged at 100% constantly. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I have to find a way to successfully do that. Maybe I rent like a laptop or some shit like that and put my um Osbot cam like facing the direction. I'm not sure, but I really want to do this live, with no edits, and see what happens. So you said, do I think the AI slop thumbnails are impacting the views? Probably. If people are avoiding AI based thumbnails because they think it's going to be an AI video, hey, that's a possibility. But just to give you guys a heads up, I I have a love hate thing with the AI shit, right? So, I understand like with AI, the bad in it, but when you're a YouTuber who I can't even call myself a YouTuber because I don't do YouTube full time. This is not my job. I have a real regular 9 to 5 job, right? So I don't have time. I don't have the same amount of time as somebody who just is at home with no a full time job, just in their job is just doing YouTube videos. I don't have the time. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the same availability. So I have to do everything like literally on weekends or after work or whatever time I get in between work, family. Like I have to use the time I have. So what are my options? Spend 30 minutes to an hour just trying to make a good looking thumbnail, uh or pay somebody $40. I think that's the cheapest I paid for a thumbnail is 40 or $50. Pay someone $50 to do the thumbnail. That video does 110 views. And it's like, why did I do that? Or give AI a simple ask command. Take a picture, make the shit look good, throw it out there, and that's that. It's me, it's me. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like, hey, like it's your give or takes. It's like having AI do a thumbnail for me and all I gotta do is pose or pick up a fucking box. Like, you know what I mean? Do that shit, and it spits out an image in like fucking 62 seconds. Yeah, I like if that's why people are not watching, it is what it is. But I'm not going to stop doing that. I'm sorry, like whoever is missing out on the $40 I used to pay to get a thumbnail made. The last time I paid for a thumbnail was for the Star Wars Outlaws review. I did a Star Wars Outlaws review. Um, Paid for the thumbnail. I thought the thumbnail came out great. The video flopped, and I was like, "Well, damn." I worked hard on the video. Ubisoft did me a solid because I'm not a huge channel. They allowed me to have preview access. They gave me review access. I played the game, beat it, did my video, paid for the thumbnail. The video flopped. I got nothing to show for it. So I was like, if I'm gonna do a video and put out a thumbnail and it's gonna flop. It's like it is what it is. At least I didn't like dump a bunch of money or time into it. So yeah, like I'm not mad at AI driven thumbnails. Sure, can I get better at it? But no, I don't have the time and resources to buy certain programs or to use Photoshop in a way. The graphic designing wasn't my thing. There's other people's thing, and unfortunately, AI is eating up those jobs. But if that's what I need to do to make myself more efficient, to be able to work a full-time job, spend time with my family, create a video in like 15 minutes, and maybe play some games and stuff like that. If saving an extra 40 minutes by giving AI command to make my picture look better for a thumbnail, I'm not mad at that. I'll do that. Um, he said it's all good till AI takes your job. Hey, it's true. I worry about that all the time, right? Job security, the type of job that I do. Um, I know, like, you know what I mean? It's corporate America. Like, I don't work for a union. It's stuff like that. You have to think about, and I do think about that. And so I don't poke fun at it and stuff like that. again, even if like, in a situation, if I was to like, lose my job, cancel that assignment in Jesus' name. But if I was to lose my job or like, um, I don't think I would still entertain becoming a YouTube full time because there, like, I don't know if I have the drive or the amount of hustle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but like, there's lifestyle, there's benefits, there's insurance, there's medical, all that stuff. Some people those people who got rich off YouTube, that's different. They can do that. Your Kai Cenat, your ISO speeds and all that stuff. But like, it- I don't think YouTube, especially with this new stuff that they're doing, will ever be worth it to me where I can make a living, like an actual living to feed a family and all my bills on YouTube. I just don't see it. The avenue, I'm in the wrong uh genre of YouTube videos, and which means I would have to start over to do that. Um but I'm fine where I'm at. I'm fine where I'm at. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? I can't get super taxed, and everything that I buy I can write off to offset whatever I get taxed off the little change that I make on YouTube. I don't make a lot of money. I don't make money on YouTube at all. Like, I make enough to cover coffee for a week, pretty much. And that's if I meet the threshold. What was it? $100? If you break $100, they'll send you like a check or whatever. That if I meet the threshold, great. I don't have to buy coffee out of pocket. I could cover my weekly coffee. That $100 will last me. And coffee, if coffee's $3, $3 for a cup of coffee 3 times, 5 days a week. Yeah, it's about in about 2 weeks. That's all that does. So YouTube supports my coffee. If I meet the goal. But like, nah, I don't want, I don't wish AI taking anybody's job. Like, it sucks. You know what I mean? But there's benefits to utilizing it if you're independent. You know what I mean? If you're a dolo, if you're doing YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, that's one less thing. That's fine. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm not. A lot of things I do in support, I don't. I try to like avoid the whole AI stuff. But like thumbnails is the one thing. It was the one thing I lacked. It was the one thing I lacked, and that's and I spent money on thumbnails, so that's why I really don't. It saved money. You know what I mean? It saved money. So, but I'm gonna get out of here, guys. It's been like great talking to you guys. We rocked it out for 2 hours. I appreciate all your questions and the additions. Got a few friend requests and messages on Steam. I'm gonna check those out. Uh, but yeah, I'm very happy. Again, it's weird. I know a lot of people make fun of me because there's still videos on my channel of me like dogging it out with PC gamers or tweets of me dogging out PC gamers, and so it is ironic. My wife, made fun of me for that because she said, that's very hypocritical of you. But it's like, you live and you learn. I should have like, somebody should have knocked some sense into me maybe a year or two earlier, and I think I would have been even in better position. But appreciate everybody coming through with the chats. You guys showed up for me. I appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next video. Tomorrow I'll have some videos uploaded. Gears of War stream tomorrow. And yeah, we got a lot coming. So, peace.